Hey Tim, nice to see you. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you. How
Yeah,
are you?
yeah, very good, thank you. Thanks for taking the time to do this. You've been in Cleanup Academy for over a year now. You'll be
Yep.
sticking around as an alumni member as well, which is awesome. But
Cool.
interested to ask you some questions about your experience in the program, how you found it, the support you've had, results from being in the program too, and how the business has improved over the past kind of 12 months or so. Because the first question is, what what was it that you saw, and where was it that you saw me? What was it that attracted you towards Cleanup Academy? What was it that interested you in thinking this might be a good fit, um, prior to us jumping on that initial call?
Yeah, well, I first saw, wasn't looking for it, but I first saw it pop up on LinkedIn,
Yeah,
and I think I looked at one or two of your videos, um, made an inquiry. You contacted me back, and just looked at you know what you do really, but yeah, I was interested in getting it. I've been approached from coaching companies before, but never really fancied it because I was thinking, what do they know about cleaning? What would a generic company, coaching company, know about my business? And so that's what attracted me to you. I've always fancied coaching or having coaching,
yeah.
but never had it. And that I don't think there's ever been one. I think for cleaning,
Yeah,
um,
it
that I've seen. But
full disclosure for everyone watching this as well, but is an idea that I'd first seen in the US. The US generally are a little bit more into coaching than the UK audience has been
okay,
typically. And I just thought, well, nobody's doing this in the UK. And
okay,
kind of give my experience with it as well. And I saw that a lot of people had the same problems, and you see it all the time. It's still in Facebook groups, and probably people watching this video right now, still the same problems with the cleaning side of things is generally pretty good, but it's the business side of things is understanding the numbers and the metrics, systems, processes, software, automation, managing a team, being able to get to the point where you can kind of take a step back and not work as many hours. Those are the things that tend to elude people. Yeah,
yeah.
interesting. And what was it about our initial conversation then that made you think, yeah, this would probably be a good fit?
Well. Actually, I think you know, probably like many people, I've started up the business on my own from scratch,
Mm.
and I've never had anyone else that I could approach and ask questions to, and just having that has been was the main reason really,
Yeah.
because I've been going for 18 years really, and in that time, sorry, it's now 21 years actually. So I think when we got together, I was just going into my 20th year. So I'm now on our 21st year, and in all that time, I've done it solo. I've done it on my own,
Yeah.
and listened to customers about what they think the prices should be, or whatever, and just found some information along the way, either on the internet or that I found at a customer's premises, um, cleaning schedules or something like that. And just over the years, we've just kind of done it that way,
Yeah.
but never been able to look at anyone else's ideas. And I think it's a great thing because cleaning companies in general don't talk to each other. The only time you talk to each other is when you're taking over from them. So there's already there's already an issue
Yeah, that communication is often not the friendliest.
and you can't ask them any questions, obviously, and then the only companies I come across are the local competition, and because they're our competition, they're not really going to help us, or likewise with them. It's just, and it shouldn't be like that.
No, you're right.
But that was what initially drew me to you, which was just having somebody that's been in the industry, that has gone through all of that, but just being able to talk to somebody.
Yeah. Now, just for context, who are watching, what size was the company when you started? You mentioned you've been going for about 20 years, but what kind of size? What sort of cleaning do you do? Give people an insight into the position you were in the business prior to joining Cleanup Academy?
Yeah, well, we were doing okay. I kind of view the business on the amount of hours we clean per week. It's the way I've always kind of looked at it, really.
Yeah, me too.
And we were at one point we were growing by about 100 hours roughly a year. We lost quite a bit during the pandemic, obviously, same as everybody else. But we kind of came out of it all a bit stronger. Really, it gave us time to pause and reset. We moved offices. We put a decent company doing our SEO, and we started gaining a lot of hours. And because of that, I think we got up to around about 1,000 hours a week, all of it commercial. And then I thought, well, I don't really know what to do now. I don't know how to scale up. I don't know what the next thing is that we should be doing, but I know where I'm struggling. So I didn't know what the right process was to then take it to the next level, which is where I'm, I've got a good background before running a cleaning company in area management and recruitment, retention, and how to manage large teams. So I didn't need any training on that. What I needed really was just help on how to scale up a cleaning company, really, and the best way to do it. And since starting with yourself, we've gained 200 hours, which is roughly what we expected to gain anyway with our new SEO company. But that's the total gains. But the difference is the gains of 200 have been at a much higher margin, have been a much more profitable for us, which has been great. Yeah. So we were gaining 100 hours roughly a year. By the time you take into account your losses or whatever, that went to 200 a year. But anyone can do 200 or 300 hours gain a year if their margins aren't very good, right?
Yeah.
And but to have a gain of
what were they before you started? Because it was quite low, your margin. They were 20%, maybe.
Yeah, they were low. Yeah. So
what's your gross margin now on average, would you say?
Well, I mean, if you're just looking at the hourly rate to what we're charging the customer, and sort of taking into account the fact that that it includes chemicals and that kind of thing, some of our margins are at 48%, which is great. So that's it's a huge
increase.
And particularly, what I think where I lost focus was like on the larger ones, I was going in too low, and on the smaller ones, I was going in arguably really low, because there wasn't that much difference between those rates. It was always a little bit higher, but just having you and looking at what everybody else is charging has been fantastic, really.
Good.
Just to I now have the confidence to know that's what everybody else is charging, and or what we could be charging, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
For a company such as ours. So our margins were way too low, and that was one of the main reasons we weren't able to scale.
Yeah.
As well, because always extremely busy, but not being able to put the additional staff that we needed in the background to make life easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, huge thing. What else has changed for you in the business over the past year, operationally or otherwise?
Quite a bit, actually. There's something that you taught me as well, which is to try and get rid of anything you don't like doing. And there was definitely a couple of jobs that I really don't like doing, that I was doing myself. One in particular was that I just couldn't seem to get anybody for. Was just like getting somebody to go out and fix hoovers and take little bits of stock out here and there. And we've got a guy now coming out one day a week for us, just doing that. And it's just little things like that, just being able to get rid of those annoying little jobs that I wanted to get rid of, and it's having the luxury to be able to afford it now, which is great.
Yep.
So we've got an extra contract manager, which is good, which is really helpful. We've got additional cover cleaners whose job it is literally just to cover. And we used to have one. We can now afford two. So and we pay them a few hours a day, whether they're working or not.
Yep.
And it's just great being able to have that extra infrastructure in place. I've been able to promote somebody from a contract manager to an operations manager. I've got a second contract manager, and I've got another contract manager that I want to start shortly. We had an admin person in place for a couple of hours a day. We've now got her for 4 hours a day. So all of those things, they all have gone to make my life a lot easier, really.
Yeah.
And that's mostly been down to just knowing what we needed to have in place and being able to afford it, obviously.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And there's some change in the software as well, because you were using Smart Task previously, not to disparage Smart Task, but I think you made a change.
Yeah. We were using Excel, which was terrible, and phoning everybody and keying it all manually in.
Yeah.
And then we went to this thing called Smart Task, which for us it didn't work particularly well, unfortunately. But we went to Connect Team, and that has been brilliant.
Yeah,
it's been absolutely superb.
What's your experience been like of the program itself, the training, the coaching, the community aspect of it? What's been your impression of it overall? You can talk about that, but I was thinking more Cleanup Academy.
Oh, sorry, right, yeah. That's been really good, actually. I like the Cleanup Academy WhatsApp group. It's brilliant. You can talk to people, and I like chatting to people together as well. It's been great.
Yeah.
And you don't feel alone anymore. Yeah. So, before I was, like I was saying, it's a solo business sometimes, and I really enjoy talking to the staff and customers. And then you think, well, actually, it'd be nice to talk to other people from the industry, apart from whenever you go to a cleaning show or something. And it's it's really lovely to hear, and I've learned quite a lot from those guys as well, because some of them will give advice, and likewise I'm quite vocal on it sometimes. I'll also help people and give them advice from my experience, my 20 years of experience.
Absolutely.
Some people on there have been going 5 minutes by the looks of it, and others have been going for years, haven't they? And it's good to know what, it's interesting to hear what they're charging or what their frustrations have been and stuff like that. So it's been really good. With
some of the Facebook groups, some of the LinkedIn connections, or meeting people at cleaning shows, there's often this needs partner pretense that everything's great and everything's fine. What I love about the Cleanup Academy group is people are very open and honest.
Yeah.
And being able to share how things are, genuinely how things are, whether it's good or bad. But being able to get that information from other people across the industry, across the UK, but also even, some companies in there, international companies from America and Canada and all sorts of stuff. But be able to hear about what people are struggling with overall. A big change for me as a coach, actually, going from running Gleam, it was, when I started coaching, it was a case of, here's what we did that worked well. But the more people that you work with, you really start to see patterns form. And that, for me as a coach, was really interesting. And when I now feel the most confident, is because I've worked with so many companies. You get a very clear aggregate across the industry, and you see what's working because you have so much visibility on so many different companies. And that has been really interesting to be able to figure out what the right strategies are, because it's very clear. You see, well, the right company, the company's doing the best, they're doing this, and then that becomes a part of the methodology. So that's been really interesting. How have you found the coaching with me as well? I mean, we haven't spoken about this, so feel free to be honest and don't hold back. Yeah, no, but how have you found the one-to-one coaching, the training aspect of it as well?
Yeah, really good again. Really helpful. I mean, the software that you've recommended has, worked. I mean, it's, but it's also just knowing that, the 90-day thing, which is saying, where do what's your target? Where do you want to be at that point? It's good to work towards that. And yeah, very good. Just yeah, no problems at all. It's been really good. I've always enjoyed them. I've always looked forward to it, and kind of come away motivated. Really, it's energizing.
Good.
So yeah.
What are some of the biggest wins? You mentioned about your margins increasing, but what are some of the other big wins that you've had as a Park Cleanup Academy?
What you mean from our customers?
Just over the past year as a company, kind of things that have, any big wins that you've had. You mentioned the margins previously, kind of doubles your gross profit margin, which is huge. Any other wins as well that you'd think, this is something that's really greatly improved in the past year?
Yeah, I mean, I think, for me, it might be different for somebody else, but for me, it's just the confidence really of knowing the prices that I'm going out and quoting are what everyone else is kind of charging, or what we definitely should be charging, and it's given me so much more confidence, because I've always gone out in the past wondering if too cheap or too expensive, and and I think that sometimes is reflected. And when you go out and you meet your customers and you're trying to get business, now I'm going out and I'm saying, this is the price, and it's because that's what we're worth, basically. But
yeah.
I think the other thing is I was winning a lot of business, and something else that you really pointed out was I was winning too much. And I thought it's because I'm a great salesman, but it's not because I'm a great salesman. It's actually because our prices were too low.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm a great salesman actually, but that's another thing. But my conversion rate has actually either gone down, or they're taking longer to come back to me.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a really good thing, because like on a small twice a week contract for a couple of hours a week, we're going in at a 48% margin, and they might not come back to us the following day, but after a couple of weeks they'll come back to us.
Yep.
Ask us for a couple of extra things which we probably won't give them, and then we'll still get it, and everything's great. And on the really big ones, we found this nice sweet spot hourly rate price, and and they're either going for it or they're not, but if generally speaking, they are.
Yeah.
And it's fine. And also going in at a slightly higher price than I was is also another positive thing, because I think if you go in too low, it's saying these guys aren't quite good enough. So there's lots of other. Yeah. That's been the biggest win for me, is just having it's just been a huge increase in confidence really on my part, knowing full well that's what everybody else is charging, of companies similar to us, that have most things in place, whether ISO and all of these things that you probably get asked for to have. That's what you should be charging.
Yeah. I mean, again, you've doubled your margins, but you
Yeah.
certainly haven't halved your conversion rates.
So no, that's right.
You're in a very good spot.
Yeah, I mean, this year we've had some huge gains actually. But overall, what I'm saying is that we were getting gains of 200 hours a year, which was great, but the margin wasn't there. And I think this year we've probably quoted a lot more actually. So whether that's a combination of SEO working or LinkedIn or whatever it may be, but we've gone out and quoted more. And although the return has been slightly less, actually overall the gain in hours is great. It's good uplift of 200 hours, but at great margins. So and
equivalent
that's
of what you would have had, I guess, previously probably being 300 hours, right?
Yeah. So
but fewer customers to deal with, and
Mhm.
life a lot easier.
Yeah.
Some amazing results. Last question. Oh no, go ahead.
No, it's okay. No.
Last question was, what would you say to somebody who's on the fence about joining Cleanup Academy? Maybe we've had a conversation already and they're thinking it through, they're watching these videos. or maybe they've just found Cleanup Academy and they're looking through and they're thinking, hey, this could be a really good fit for me. What's your advice to those people based on your experience in the program?
Well, I suppose, I mean, I keep saying this to a couple of people that, you don't know them, whatever, but, they'll say, what are you doing today? And I'm like, I'm going on with my coach online. And I wish I would have done it 20 years ago is basically what I say to everybody that, and I really do, because if I would have had this knowledge 20 years ago, I'd be in a much better position now. I'm in a great position now. Don't get me wrong. I'm doing well. We've had a great time, but I've also had so many frustrations over the 20 years before getting you on board, which is really, wondering if this is the right way to do things, or I would go through 10 different things, whatever it may be, until I get something that's working relatively well. And because you're always so busy, you stay with those things. But just having you that can say, well, actually, have you tried this? Have you done this? This works really well. I've heard, you want to try this? And it's just, otherwise there's so much time. I've lost probably an incalculable amount of hours where I've been sat thinking, wondering if this is the right way or whatever it may be. And and you live and learn, obviously, along the way. But honestly, if I could start again, I would definitely, definitely recommend joining the Cleanup Academy and doing it straight away. Don't hesitate, because you will. I mean, the way I look at it is as well. Even if you think you know everything, which in some respects I know a lot of stuff, but there's always something to learn. There's definitely always something. So even if you're not a new company that's been going for 10 or 20 years like I was, there's still a lot you can learn.
Yeah. And even just accountability and just knowing, especially when you're working on your own, and I feel this too. I mean, I've got a coach, and that's the reason why, is because when it's just you, there's no, you're the boss. It's not the same as working, for somebody else. And there's that pressure from above that, you have to do something within a certain period of time. Ultimately, you're not answerable to anyone apart from yourself, which is a huge perk of entrepreneurship. But when it comes to getting things done, sometimes it's, I'll do that. I'll push that back a little bit. I'll do that another time.
Yeah.
When you're working with somebody and you've said to them there's accountability, and you've committed that I'm going to be doing this, I'm going to get this in place. Just that a little bit of accountability, that little bit of external pressure sometimes just gets things done a little bit quicker.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, it clearly hasn't stopped you from being successful, but a big part of coaching is about, can it speed up the process? So yeah, I'm really grateful you said that.
Thanks.
Tim, I mean, as people know from watching these videos, and I think I say this in every single one, we don't rehearse what we're going to talk about. Just full disclosure, I send the questions ahead of time just to kind of give a rough indication of here's what we're going to be talking about. But I have no idea what Tim's going to say or anyone's going to say until we get on the call. And I implore people to be really open and honest. So, Tim, thank you very much for your openness and honesty. One, it's been just great working with you. I think we have a lot of fun working together. You're a great part of the community as well. We're just offering advice and support to other people, and that's incredibly important, because the way the community works is that if nobody contributes information, nobody benefits. But if everybody contributes a bit, everybody benefits by learning what 40 to 50 other people are doing and hearing about that. So you've been a huge part of the community, and it's been really lovely having you as a part of it. Even on we do the support sessions on a fortnightly basis. If you're on those calls, you just jump in and give people advice and support based on your knowledge and experience. It's been great having you as a part of the program. I'm so happy you're sticking around as well, but can't wait to see where you're going to be in another 12 months.
Yeah, same here, actually.
Stuff to do.
Very excited to and it's just nice, like you say, just having that person that you can a bit of accountability there, and it's just great.
Yeah,
far best than doing
it makes it a bit of fun. So running a business is stressful, as everybody knows, and any way you can make it a bit more fun, a bit more community, a bit more engaging, there's always going to be
Oh, definitely.
Tim, thanks so much for your time. Really,
Cool.
really appreciate you doing this. It's going to go up on the website. Well, it's funny because you mentioned that you saw the videos up on the website and now you're one of them. A lot of people are like, I didn't know that I'd be one of these videos, but here you are. You're also going to be one of them.
Thanks, Jamie.
Cheers, Tim.
Okay.